Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Main Street Prowlers, guys. Today we have Andrew Kircher from the Can't talk, I swear, blooper moment right there. But we have Andrew Kircher here from the Port Huron Museums again. Thank you for coming out, and it's always a pleasure when we can have you on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And it's definitely a lot warmer than the last time we had you
Yes,
on.
yes. We're just talking about that cold garage.
Yes, and it's I'm glad because it's we're actually moving up in the world, and it's a lot of exciting things to talk about too. To definitely talk about for the museums itself too. Um,
Yeah, it's been an exciting. A lot of things have happened to the museum since we kind of talked last. But the thing we're probably most excited about right now is our current exhibit that we were able to install. Discovery City is so fun and becoming very popular. So.
and it's definitely that was really interesting too because that was one of the very few, at least in my memory, where it had a preview actually at McMorran Arena.
That is true. Yes, that they worked all summer long. We worked with the city. So if you don't know, Discovery City is our children's exhibit. We worked with the city of Port Huron, our kind of friends and partners there. They were able to pick up this exhibit from the Minnesota Children's Museum, and then we were able to tweak it and turn it into something that is very much Blue Water area related. So it was at McMorran Arena all summer long as they were tweaking things and repainting it. It was a traveling exhibit, so it got some miles put on it. But
Exactly.
it's amazing to see when it was spread out throughout the arena. We were all kind of wondering how on earth is this going to fit inside the museum because there's a lot of pieces to it. There's 2 full semi-loads worth of stuff.
And so it's getting too semi-full within what should have been normally one semi-full load normally goes in one.
We could easily spread that out for a whole exhibit on its own. But this is everything was very carefully designed. We actually worked to have these things installed. We were putting things into like a CAD layout, making sure that it was all going to fit on the computer before we actually stuck it inside the galleries.
Right, and
it was all very carefully orchestrated to make sure it fit. And everything also had to fit through the 2 normal doors at the front of the museum. So we don't have a great big, loading bay or anything like that.
so that's an even more interesting situation to get. What I noticed that huge dog too. So
Yeah, Edison the dog has to come all the way apart. His legs come off, his front paws come off, his head comes off, all of that. I'm glad there were no kids there that day. It's a little disturbing to see, although maybe appropriate for Halloween. But everything came apart and had to be twisted like a giant game of Tetris. But we got him in, he fits, it's all assembled. Now kids play on him every single day.
As who was the master in the gaming of that one, getting Tetris on that one?
Yeah, it was, we worked with a couple city workers who were bringing things over. We used one of those forklifts that has a long arm that could reach its way up because it also had to come up a full flight of stairs to come in the front door of the museum. So that was quite a challenge those couple days.
Right, and it's definitely got it done, and it's especially from the pictures, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's something that we have kids in every day. It's really aimed at the preschool crowd, but I think that there wasn't a lot for them in the area. So getting all of that in for those kids. And right now we know it's going to be here through at least March, all winter long. It's going to be really nice once it's snowy, kind of cold out, or those rainy November days. Discovery City is going to be a great place for kids to be able to have something indoors to come and do.
And I know I've had a few questions about this myself. And is it included in the normal museum price?
Yeah, so the way things work, we actually were able to get some grant funding for it. So it's just $5 a kid. If adults are just bringing kids for that, there is no charge for adults. They can, if they really want to see the rest of the museum, that's just $5. You can get that kind of ticket. So yeah, if you're coming in, you can even poke in and take a look. It's $5. So really, really great value. And one of the things that we are most proud of is that if you have a bridge card, it's free of charge.
Nice.
So we're big, being able to make the museum accessible for everyone in the community. So we really want to get folks in, people who've never been in the museum before. This is a great chance for them to do that.
Exactly, and it's for cheap and little to no cost if you're really wanting to see it and you don't have any disposable income at the time too.
Right.
So
It's really nice. We're limiting, families to $15. So if you've got a bunch of kids, you're getting even more value that way.
exactly.
Great chance to pop over.
Especially when it's the preschool age too, where it's critical for them to start learning.
Yeah, it's a lot of different hands-on experiences, lots of different things for them to try out, explore. It's kind of like a city in miniature. So there's a post office and a store, a little science lab. We, again, themed it all about Port Huron, so all about Thomas Edison. And, we are really excited to have everyone in. We've spent a lot of time working out all of our logistics and cleaning everything. Of course, we are still in, an era of COVID and things like that. So we want to present a nice, safe, and fun environment for kids to come and learn in.
Exactly. So it's definitely been an interesting and it's an amazing thing to see too. So it's going on with that too. Different events. We were talking about the trolley. You're using that for a lot more.
Yeah,
things
we
now.
are really putting the miles on our trolley. This, Halloween weekend, I did something like 8 tours, basically back to back to back. We do trolley tours all year round, except for the very early spring. So from December to about April, we send the trolley in to get some work done because we so many miles on it for the rest of the year combined. But we've got these great themed tours. Far and away the most popular is our Murder and Mayhem tour. But we also do, we're going to be doing a Christmas light tour coming up here in the middle of this month into the middle of December. We do a architectural highlights tour. It was a really fun one that I developed. We could take a look at all of the different variety. Port Huron has a lot of really cool architecture. McMorran is one of those stops we spend and talk a lot about. McMorran's designed by Alden Dow, one of the architectural greats of the 20th century.
Exactly. So might as well. Oh God, I lost the
Yeah, 'cause I
word.
was going to say, me and my son do the Port Huron trolley, one that the Blue Water Transit, and when PJ was doing it, if we were on it, she'd have us talk about, had us talk about McMorran, because we spent a lot of time in there with the hockey and silver sticks and all that. Because like she said, she knows a lot of the history of the McMorran, but she'd have us talk about the hockey teams and
Well,
stuff. And
it's a real treasure to have in town. So
it is. It's beautiful.
we talk a lot about all of the different styles that are in town, all of the different buildings that are still with us that you can walk by and see. There's lots of history there and lots of a great variety of it. So that one proves real popular, and we have a Thomas Edison tour. Our own Depot Dave Dazer does that. He is our resident Edison expert, and we're working up some even more tours next year. Murder and Mayhem is our most popular, but I have enough basically in my notes and things and researching for that we've got enough for a whole second tour, and I think that's going to be popular. And I'm even working up a bar hop with the trolley that hopefully that'll premiere in spring, and it's going to be all Prohibition themed. So I think that'll be real popular.
That'll be a really interesting for this town, and especially being right on the border of Canada.
There was a great quote I found from one of the sheriffs of St. Clair County in the 1920s who said that God could have created a better river to smuggle alcohol across, but he never did. The St. Clair River made so much alcohol. Some estimates put it as high as 75% of all of the alcohol that was being smuggled into the United States during Prohibition was coming across between Detroit and Port Huron.
That's perfect. It's like, might as well get us on the map somewhere, right?
There's a lot of money to be made. So.
But especially you were talking about earlier too, the different styles of buildings. That's what played into the Prohibition as well. A lot of I don't know how true it is, but the basement bars for that too were like really
It's
interesting.
popular. One of the things that is really difficult in researching and looking into things like Prohibition is, the most successful rum runner we ever had in St. Clair County They have no idea who he is because you don't advertise that. You
Right.
never got caught.
Exactly.
It's anything that is illegal inherently. People don't like to write that stuff down. They want that to be on the down low. And actually, what I've found through a lot of my research is that a lot of the speakeasy, a lot of the places where people might have been drinking illegally, is actually a lot of them get out into the community, into just private residences, houses like that. And you think about it the same way. In the same way that drugs today, when you see them, the drug task force, they raid a house that's out in the middle of a neighborhood. It's, you want to get that away from prying eyes, so they're not running that through a building downtown where everybody's walking by. You do that in your backyard or your basement. So there were more than one little homes that became speakeasies, out in the middle of the city. But there was certainly plenty of it for the decade plus of Prohibition.
Right. And so I do have to talk about houses. I do have to congratulate you. You're getting your house done really well, and it's actually.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's actually coming along really well. And it's
Yeah, I'm proud to say the outside's basically finished. We might touch up a couple of things next year, but myself and my new wife, we got married a couple weeks ago. We got married at my house and used that as a great opportunity to finish up the house. So we started all the way back in April and put in countless hours over the summer getting the house ready. We stripped off asbestos siding. We stripped off the old lead paint and repaired a lot of the woodwork and gave it a new coat of paint and painted it back into, my house dates to the 1880s, and so we gave it some period colors.
and that's exactly what I love about you personally, is that you go back to not just back to this history, but you actually incorporate it into the full aspect of your life as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. I am truly a lover of history. So.
As because I know you come from a background, especially working at like Fort Michilimackinac.
Yeah.
And it's so that I know that background plays into your life almost.
I've worked at museums professionally my whole life, so that's basically some of the only jobs that I've had. I've had small jobs here or there, other different things to make ends meet, some oddball stuff. But museums are what I've basically done my whole career, bounced around the state. Lived up in Mackinac for close to a decade. I worked down in Dearborn for a few years as curator of the museum down there. But when I got a chance to move back to my own hometown and tell all the stories here, I jumped at it. So all my folks still call Port Huron home, so it was really nice to get to move back here.
Right.
And history's a passion, and the museum field. You don't get into the museum field if you have a lust for money and power. It's
Exactly.
it doesn't pay all that great, but it's something that you do because you enjoy it. You get to share that with others.
So with that too, what is your favorite thing coming up with the museum? What are you most excited about that the museum's going to offer in the near future?
Yeah, so some of the things we've got on our horizon, I always like every winter, we are doing candlelight tours of the lighthouse. I think the lighthouse is probably one of the coolest sites that we have. It's the oldest lighthouse in the state of Michigan. Michigan has more lighthouses than any other state. There are just so many stories tied to that lighthouse, and it's so pretty. Everybody likes, it's like an icon of the area. I mean, how many businesses or stores are the lighthouse party store, or lighthouse accountant, or you name it. So having that lighthouse in town, we get to decorate not only the tower, but inside at the depot, or inside at the duplex where the keepers lived. It looks like a 1930s Christmas. We get to bring people through. So we're going to be starting that November, I think, 18th. And we're going to be doing these candlelight tours Friday nights and Saturday nights at the tower, which will be really exciting. We'll go do that through Christmas.
And that's especially going to be a beautiful time too, being right on the mouth of the opening.
Yeah, right on the water, right at the mouth of the river. You get to see the bridge. You get to see all of the beautiful lights of the city. You climb that tower, and the view up from there is just one of the best.
It is.
Right.
I went up there a few years back and got pictures and took pictures from up there. Got some great shots. Even the McMorran Towers, some beautiful photography pictures. You can see far, way out, the tree levels, and just get pictures of a bunch of nice stuff that you wouldn't be able to get in that view of.
Well, even something like Chemical Valley is, we see it kind of in the daylight, but at nighttime it looks almost
It's
just
all-
like Christmas
Well,
lights.
that's the thing. You don't see the buildings and all the the stacks. You just see the lights.
Sometimes a little bit of the flame, but
But you see the lights, like you said. You see all the lights, and it's a different view, totally different.
And it's, even in that, history can be found beautiful and that kind of thing too. So it's something that's
It's like you were saying on your house. The house I would love if I ever hit the lottery, I'd buy back is the house I grew up in as a kid. It was built in 1891 by my relatives.
there you go.
So
It's
I
always,
would want,
there's a
I
double
would
connection.
want the house back. It's a beautiful house. We'd sleep up. I'd sleep upstairs during the winter, and my brother and everybody would be sleeping around the fireplace, thinking it kept it warmer. The way my great grandfather built the furnace and fireplace, it piped into the furnace unit and heated the upstairs.
Heat always rises, right?
But he did. He piped it right through the furnace. The way he built it. The upstairs was warmer
Well,
than most
and
downstairs.
there's something to be said for older houses. They truly don't build them like they used
No,
to.
they don't.
no. And that's sad too, because it's like you get sad heat rises, and they were built a lot thicker as well back then too.
A 2x4 was truly a 2x4, dimensional lumber. I mean, there are some downsides. My house doesn't have a ton of insulation, but I still have the original steam
Yeah.
heat, and so costing to heat it, even though it's kind of a larger house, is not too bad.
That's the issue we have where I live now is the upstairs during the winter it's cold and during the summer it's hot. Because like you said, the older houses didn't have the insulation,
Well,
Yeah.
but sometimes you have those nice high ceilings,
Yeah.
which lets the heat kind of escape in the summer, keeps you a little cool, and you know what? You keep a couple blankets around. That's what I do.
That's what I do. That's all I do.
Sit under a blanket.
It don't bother
nice
me
and
much
comfy.
because I used to sleep with the window open during the winter. Because I'm always warm. So,
But
But-
that's definitely beauty. That's definitely beauty in those older houses.
and that's why a lot of people, there's so many beautiful houses in this. Like you said, the old history of the houses. Even you got a lot of neighborhoods that are just the houses are old. Because I know with the house I want to get back, originally they were going to tear all those houses down for the new Blue Water Bridge ban, but Historical Society stepped in and said no, there's too many houses in this area. They'll have to either be moved or
Sure.
so they wouldn't let them. That's why they ended up being almost directly next to each other. They wanted to put a gap between them, and like I said, they stepped in and said no, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it's tricky. Historic. One of the things I always tell people, with my experience with historic preservation and laws and things like that, I sit on the Historic District Commission for Port Huron, but it's very counterintuitive. The higher the level of historical recognition, so you could be on the National Register of Historic Places, but it doesn't actually offer you that many protections from being torn down or altered or
Yeah.
things like that. Tons of those protections all come at the local level. It's things like having a local historic district, and there's a Port Student District, and there's a downtown district here in Port Huron, and that's where your real protections for historic structures come from. You can be on the state register. You can have that big bronze and green sign that everyone's seen at historic sites. You can have one of those in your front lawn, but that doesn't mean much if you're not in the district. A rich person could buy the house and tear it down to build a McMansion if they really wanted to.
And
Yeah,
that's why.
sad. It is sad.
And that's why I think like a lot of these bigger businesses that buy the older houses are so apt to altering them so quickly too.
See, that's why I have to, Dr. Schwedo, I have to give him credit because even with the Red Cross, he tried to keep it as original as he could, and now he's buying the church to move all his stuff into, and he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, they've made very few alterations.
He don't want to change it. He loves history, and he don't want to tear a building down to build a building.
Right. The other thing that we always say in the historic preservation field, anymore people are always looking at sustainability and building, a green house to see what they can, the most sustainable home. But the greenest house is the one that's already built. So you're never
It's
going
lasted this
to
long.
exactly.
So
It hasn't fallen down yet, so somebody built it right. They did something right.
but before we go out a break, is there anything else that needs to be? Because I know there's a few other things that the museum is promoting right now too. So what else is on your docket?
Yeah, well, I always tell people when we're adding tons of events, especially around Christmas, we're always adding little things. We just added today, for example, a pop-up photography session for families to do these like little 15-minute photo sessions at the museum. That's going to be happening in November. We're bringing in a professional photographer, and there's all these little things like that pop up. So I always tell people to check us out on our Facebook page, check out the events we have listed, or just pop on over to our website, phmuseum.org. They can see what's going on, see all the events, and our kind of winter hours. Our satellite sites are open on weekends, and the main site where Discovery City is open Wednesday through Sunday. But those are kind of the one-stop shops to see what's going on, and we have so much for families right now that it's been great. We've been getting to see lots of people we don't see all the time otherwise. So.
Exactly. And with that, thank you for coming on. It's definitely been a joy. I definitely got him talking a lot more about a lot of stuff. So that's
well. Thanks again so much for having me. I always am happy to share what's going on at the museum and fun stuff in town. I think we're going through a real renaissance right now, which is nice. So.
Exactly. But it's much appreciated. Like you guys heard, go to their Facebook, Port Huron Museums, phmuseums.org, right?
Yep, phmuseum.org, or just Google Port Huron Museums, it'll come right up. So.
Right. And that's so go check them out. And then also remember, we are at Great Lakes Gaming today. Check them out as well. They've been really accommodating to us, and they will do anything to serve you for your gaming needs. So with that, we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Hey guys, it's Crystal from the Port Huron Prowlers. Back to you from behind the scenes. I'm with Mitz today, and Mitz and I are here to give you guys some examples of things the guys would like on the bus trip. Mitz, do you think the guys would like granola bars? What about fruit and vegetables? Okay, not vegetables, but how about fruit? Cases of water? What about some Powerade and Gatorade? Well, there you have it. Some true facts of what Mitz thinks our boys should have on the road trips. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Well, not really. I got the beat. Oh, elite wrestling tomorrow, guys. If you're on wrestling. I can't believe I let myself get caught. That one was good.
Hey there, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
You might remember One Love Weekly used to be called One News Weekly. Well, that was season 1, and now we're coming into season 2. We've changed up the format, and we're bringing the news to you in a more personal issue. We're going to give you more real-life situations to react to these news stories and how you can love thy neighbor more. And I'm excited to bring on my co-host and correspondent, Kelly.
That's me. Hey, wherever you're listening to, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform suits your fancy, just make sure that you give us a subscribe and a follow and a share and whatever else you want to do. Make sure that you tell your friends about us.
And I hope you enjoy for the future episodes.
Great Lakes Gaming is just a step away for all of your cards and gaming needs. We have it all from Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering to video game tournaments like Street Fighter and Smash. Are you interested in D&D? Well, we got you covered there as well. Join us down the road on Michigan Road, just between Dove and Griswold Street in Port Huron for a whole lot of fun. We have a welcoming environment that is COVID safe and is cleaned regularly.
That would have been funny.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So it's that was a fun little segment right there, guys. I don't know. I really enjoyed that segment we had last one, but I don't know about you.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
that was,
the history of Port Huron, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of older buildings, a lot of history here.
right.
A
And
lot
just
of good and bad.
and just to let you all know, we do have Rob on, but he's just on the phone. He was with us last segment, but we were kind of talking over him. So sorry, Rob.
Oh, that's all right.
But yeah, like
You
you're.
know,
Like you were saying though, Dana, there's a lot of history, definitely stuff that can be
Taken either way.
yeah.
There's a lot of good and bad. That's why I said, but as they say, you got to take the good with the bad.
exactly.
I've lived here all my life, and I'm not going nowhere.
And it's like I was telling Andrew during the commercial break, we love our history during for hockey. We go for our traditions.
Yeah.
What we know, what our suspicions are, we will not stray from them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we do our traditions here. We shave him.
No, I shave my head.
Well-
That's my thing.
But you know what I mean.
So-
I don't shave during the season at all. I know that's just a playoff thing, but I will not shave during the season.
Well, my thing is, the reason why I don't shave during the season, other than like as a trim it, is because our season is so short compared to an NHL season.
Right.
So I try to get my playoff year going right away. Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest thing. You got to think we only have 25 home games
Exactly.
compared
So-
to, so that's what about a 50 game season compared to the 82 game season.
Right, and
Yep.
so definitely something that is a huge difference.
Yeah, you got to take that into account. Your lower leagues have less games. So you don't have as long to get that beard going.
Talk about shorter seasons too. Starting tomorrow, guys, we will be doing Around the Minors. So be prepared. We will have Rob in studio. We will be broadcasting from a different place starting tomorrow.
Just for that.
Yep.
So,
We might actually be broadcasting from there for Main Street Prowlers as well.
okay.
So it's
all right.
that way we can have a more consistent stream for you guys. We will bring everything for you guys that you want. So any questions, please just let us know, whether it be today or tomorrow. If we don't have the answers, we'll look them up for you. We get them right away for you. But either way, so this episode is called The History of Tailgating.
Okay.
We had our first party in a long time after COVID. For the Prowlers specifically, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
A lot of food.
so that's why it's called The History of Tailgating.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually eating Little Caesars right now.
of course you are, Rob.
Bad part is we didn't get to see much of the game because their feed was horrible this weekend, and they And the other thing I want to address is, these refs again need to get their act together, because I agree with Graham and them. There should have been a lot of delay of game penalties called, because the first goal I had no issue because it's home opener of the season, first goal of the season. Throwing stuff on the ice.
And
but every goal of the game and the second game they start doing the same thing. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's like you said, the first goal. It's not even that; it's their first goal in 2 years, more than 2 years,
right.
too.
So I'm not arguing that. I have some fun, but every goal, the guys were on a long road trip already. And getting ready to have to play the next day, you're even wearing your own guys out.
Exactly.
Because you're making the game go later and later, because they got some people out to clean every time.
Exactly, and it's like Kelly said, it was just mainly the first game, but when you're going into
second game they did it very first goal again. They threw all that stuff out on the ice.
But when she's talking about the first game where it went into the second, third, fourth
Yeah.
goal, it's like that's why are you doing it for that many times? Why do you want to wear your own guys out?
Yeah.
It's.
I'm just saying, even the second game, that when they did the very first goal, that should have been delayed game.
Yeah.
Because it's still a different game, a different situation. You're supposed to have all that done and out, unless like it's scheduled for teddy bear toss or something. That's a different situation.
Exactly. And you could tell too, even the ice crew for the Danbury Hat-tricks were getting a little bit
annoyed.
Yeah. So it's like when your own crew that works for you are getting pissed off at the fans.
Well, if you heard the announcers, they even agreed on the delay of game penalty itself. Yeah. Their own announcers saying, enough's enough. They're not supposed to be doing that anyway. So if they did get a delay of game, they agreed. Well, that is delay of game.
Exactly.
So they even agreed that they got penalized because of the fans.
Exactly. And I'm glad they finally did it, but it's at what cost though at that point?
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
either way. What grinds my gears? That's what this segment is.
Yeah.
It's either way. This was even though we lost technically both games, it was a good show.
And they're both very hard fought games. Very hard fought games. All the goalies for both teams did great. It was a great turnout. I will say if we would have won the first game, it was their team players' fault in the long run. When you got when you're up, you don't start a fight.
Right.
No.
And that caused the 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. With him being out for 5 minutes straight. And then they got the other penalty during that. That gave us a 5-on-3.
And I'm honestly surprised though that when because he's normally not a fighter either, and when he noticed our guy wasn't fighting back, he just kept on punching either way.
Yeah. That's why I think they didn't give him rough and they gave him a fight.
Yeah.
They gave him a 5-minute major because he didn't let up.
Exactly.
If he would have let up, he would have got a rough in instead. It would have been a 2-minute penalty. And if you notice, his coach, he benched him for. I don't even think he played the rest of the game, did he?
No, he didn't. I don't
think he did. I think he was done for the game. I think he was benched.
And
that's what it seemed like he was benched.
It is.
Just put it that way. I'm not saying he was benched. So.
which is good for the coach because it's the morals of the story that will get through to him, hopefully.
Yeah.
But anyways, Laura, glad to see you are actually in the stream. Talking to Rob.
Hello.
I know we missed a few during the last segment. We had Kay pop in for a second, I know for sure.
Yep. Skiba was
Hey,
here.
Chris.
Skiba. What's up?
When was that fight? Was that the Saturday's game or was that the Friday's
That was Friday night's game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up, see if they benched him or not.
And
I'm actually on the page.
We're good, Laura. At least I'm good.
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good.
I'm glad that you're still here too, Kay. Anyways, so with that too, we talk about Friday night, not just at the Port Huron game though versus Danbury, the Binghamton versus Watertown. I want to talk about that Friday night game.
Yeah, I know. That was something.
We all got excited. I might have done a little bit too much of hyping, but there was a goalie versus player fight in that one.
Yeah.
And they actually put up a show. Nobody expected Binghamton to actually do that as well as they did either.
No, they did really good. They're showing that they're going to be a team to probably reckon with too.
So it's this is going to be a very hard fought league this year.
I think so, and I think a lot of it has to do with that. Probably 90% of our teams, players are all new too,
Right.
because of you get a lot of people that were called up to the SB show. So it makes it more of a playing field that nobody knows.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the reason I found out why that fight happened, it was Justin Coachman that got in the fight with the goalie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did an illegal check to the head major.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
checked it, so that's why that little scruffle happened in that game.
That's funny. But no, that's the way that the goalie took him down though for his player was actually what he should have done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though he got kicked out for the night, you can't let your players get pushed around like that.
No.
So, let us know how that is, Laura, because we definitely want to see how that goes. I know I wanted to go out for a New York trip, but I don't know about you guys.
We wanted to, but unfortunately, like you guys see, it's not going to happen. Sad, but what can we do?
We were offered at one point to be in their press box for streaming a game.
Yeah.
So it's maybe next year, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I saw a big article in the on the computer about the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. How the city was saying it was going to cost one amount, and the contractors are saying it's going to cost another.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I hear wind
But
chimes?
we won't go there.
Yeah. That's let's just hope that Elmira's back next year for that. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. But anyways, so with that, I think Binghamton took one game and then Watertown took the other this weekend,
Yeah.
right? And then sadly in the other games, Carolina whomped on Delaware, 8-3.
Friday.
And then it was 8-3 the next game too, I believe.
Yep, 8-3 in both
Incorrect.
games, and 6-3 Watertown Black Bears, and 5-2 Watertown and Black Bears Saturday.
And that's what I was going to say. I want to say correction because you said Elmira
Yeah.
and won one of the games
Yeah.
Oh,
instead of Watertown.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at the Elmira jersey on the.
Well, I'm giving Chris a hard time because we were talking about the Elmira thing, and then he said Elmira won one of the games and Bears won the other.
But don't mind me. I know what I'm talking about. Come on, just read my mind, guys. Well, yeah, you definitely got to support your games, your players coming from there. The one sad thing, though, too, is that I was really excited to see Mighty Joe Young in the backstop again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he decided that he might be retiring.
Yeah.
But good for him, though. He's getting up there, and it's definitely going to be great for him because he played the minors for years.
Yeah.
And being a goalie is hell to go on your knees all the time.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah. You stupid cat.
And obviously we have a stupid cat over here. after going on the knees.
No, my cat sliced me.
Are you gonna be okay, dude?
Oh, I am.
I would show my injury, but I'll be nice.
I do want to talk about that too. You go to a church that actually puts on one of the best trunk or treats out there.
We try. We really do. We
And-
really try. You know, we had a bounce house this year and everything, and actually somebody donated that to our church for the event.
Nice.
You know, and we have games in there and everything for them to play, to get extra candy and prizes, and you know, cotton candy machine. But it was fun. You know, took a lot of pictures,
And it's definitely
and that's what I got to do tonight. I get to sit there and edit the 300 and some odd pictures I took.
right, and it's definitely worth it though. That's
Oh yes, it is. It's worth it. You know, again, it's something for the community. Like we were talking earlier with the museum. You know, to get people from the community to come out and enjoy.
exactly. And it's definitely being for what looks like a smaller church. It's actually quite spacious in there.
Yeah, but like I said, that's just what we call our the CAC, our gym.
Yeah.
You know, that for our youth group. You know.
And so that's amazing. It
Yeah.
looks very nice too.
Yes.
What threw me off though is that you had carpet for the gym.
I don't know what the reasoning on that is completely, but from what I understand, it was more of a safety type thing.
Right.
Because you know, the gym's also used for other events. Like they do rent it out for weddings and stuff like that. So it's also like a hall. So I think it's more because of stuff like that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the good things is that it does. It's a multi-purpose thing, and that's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because we even held like funerals and stuff too, for a lot of the members. You know, it's used for whatever. You know, anything that people need it for, gatherings. You know, family reunions.
And it's what I really like though too is that it's a kind of semi-enclosed balcony that you get for the gym too. So
Yeah, but the balcony is actually for there's game rooms up there,
right.
games and stuff up there. Again, you know, more spaced out. So if we have a bigger group, you know, they got more places to go.
Right.
There's also classrooms in the back.
And that's definitely
So the area you're in is like where they serve all the food and stuff, you know, off the kitchen.
right. But
So
definitely much appreciated for the community though.
yes.
And
And I'm glad you came out. 'Cause,
yeah,
you know, it's like I said, it's a fun night.
exactly.
It's one of the biggest nights I look forward to, besides the family oil change, single parent oil change.
And then just for the people out there, about what time of the year does that generally
That's
happen?
usually in the spring. You know,
Awesome.
springtime. We set up ramps and everything to change the oils of people's cars.
And that's definitely well needed, especially for like we were saying earlier,
Yep.
for people that are strapped for cash.
Yes.
So, and it's
Those are the two events I look forward to every year.
thank you for that, and it's we definitely appreciate everything that you guys have done for the
Oh
community
yeah,
too. So,
like you said, we try. I'm just a low guy on that because, like I said, I just help out and I enjoy it. It's my church that does it, my community.
Right.
For the community.
but not only are you the low guy though, you're the one that's documenting everything though through picture.
Yep, I do
So-
do the pictures.
And so if it wasn't for you,
Right.
but anyways, back to hockey for a little bit
Yes, because we got lots to talk about and very little time left.
now. Yes. So with that too, what are you most going into the break? What are you most excited about to talk about right now?
I'm ready for our first home game. I really am. I'm ready for that first home game. I'm ready to get ready for my new blind rough costume that I'm getting ready to put together.
I mean,
Yeah, I can't wait to get back up to our section this year. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, we're back in East Upper Rowdies,
Woohoo!
but
where we can really razz the goalies.
and it's make them bow down to our superior
Yeah.
power.
Yep, they didn't like me razzing the goalie online, though.
We're not gonna go into that one, but
Yeah, they deleted my comment. Just
Yeah.
went that way.
again though.
Fun.
But again, though, remember we are at Great Lakes Gaming today, and check them out. They've been really helpful. And also, check us out at MainStreetBluewater.com. We will be adding new merchandise here as well to that website. We'll also be adding new footage to the website as well. Main Street Prowlers. Also, we'll be adding paranormal merch as well. Anything. I'll also be adding a lot more individual items as well that's not just tied to the show as well. So, we'll be right back after these commercials.
Hey guys, it's Crystal from the Port Huron Prowlers. Back to you from behind the scenes. I'm with Mitz today, and Mitz and I are here to give you guys some examples of things the guys would like on the bus trip. Mitz, do you think the guys would like granola bars? What about fruit and vegetables? Okay, not vegetables, but how about fruit? Cases of water? What about some Powerade and Gatorade? Well, there you have it. Some true facts of what Mitz thinks our boys should have on the road trips. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Well, not really. I got the beat all elite wrestling tomorrow, guys. If you're on wrestling. Hey. I can't believe I let myself get caught. That one was good.
Hey there, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
You might remember One Love Weekly used to be called One News Weekly. Well, that was season 1, and now we're coming into season 2. We've changed up the format, and we're bringing the news to you in a more personal issue. We're gonna give you more real-life situations to react to these news stories, and how you can love thy neighbor more. And I'm excited to bring on my co-host and correspondent, Kelly.
That's me. Hey, wherever you're listening to, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform suits your fancy, just make sure that you give us a subscribe and a follow and a share and whatever else you want to do. Make sure that you tell your friends about us.
And I hope you enjoy for the future episodes.
Great Lakes Gaming is just a step away for all of your cards and gaming needs. We have it all from Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering to video game tournaments like Street Fighter and Smash. Are you interested in D&D? Well, we got you covered there as well. Join us down the road on Michigan Road, just between Dove and Griswold Street in Port Huron for a whole lot of fun. We have a welcoming environment that is COVID safe and is cleaned regularly.
we are back, guys. So, are we ready to start talking about the games?
Yes.
And yeah,
I got the one fight right for Saturday, but
yeah, you did, but you didn't get everything right though.
Not right.
Talk about that. Don't hit me.
Yeah, you were supposed to get a punch, aren't you?
Yeah. He punched me though, guys, because I did call the overtime. So did Rob.
And I did too.
And Mike Bremmett, if you're watching, you are owed a punch as well.
Yeah, when you get in town, you're owed a punch. On screen.
Which will most likely be at Comic Con.
And here comes Justin to give you yours.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Scared.
Hey, I'm out of here, so bye.
Oh God.
You'll get yours next week, Rob.
No, in the hockey game.
No, it has to be on live feed.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Justin. Hello.
But anyways, guys. So Friday night, season opener, away game at Danbury. The scoring opened up really well, 2-2 in the first period. Sorry, and that's where things started to go a little bit downhill. Right after that, because after the second period, we were losing 4-3.
Yeah. And on this one, I'm not going to complain too much about the officiating because in the beginning, as it started looking like they're going to favor, the hat tricks, but then it started to go evened out towards as the game progressed. But yeah, I would like to see some other calls that should have been called. And it was both ways this time. It was
Right, and then what really broke it open is that third period though, 7-5. After that, 3-2 just in that third period.
Yeah, but one of them was an empty netter, so
Yeah.
you can't really. Yeah, it's a goal, but I don't say that affected the score. It just pushed it where we weren't gonna catch up.
And Steve Foley, one of the brothers, got the empty net game winner.
Yeah.
No correction, his other brother, Tom Foley, got the empty netter.
But it could have very easily gone into overtime, just like it did on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying Friday night for the pass.
Yeah.
It looked like it was headed that way for a little bit, and then
Yeah, I actually did think that one was gonna at first.
yeah.
I thought it was going to go into a shootout Saturday.
That's what I was thinking Saturdays when 19 seconds left, and then oh well, it happens.
And there was no way you could have stopped that one either.
No. It was a good goal.
Yeah. To start off Friday night, though, in the first 13:24 into the first period, Danbury scores off a goal from Kuznetsov, who loves to take the net off.
Yeah.
But sure, we did answer, though, 2 minutes later on from a shorthanded goal from Jay, though, who seems that this year will be another shorty maker.
And not only was it a shorty, it was a breakaway.
And that's what he was famous for last
Actually,
year as well.
wasn't that? That was penalty shot. That was penalty
Yeah,
shot.
penalty
That was
shot.
off penalty shot. Because it would have been a breakaway goal, but they tripped him as he was going up ice.
Right. So either way, it was a shorthanded penalty shot goal. So it's that's why there's no assist to that one.
Yep.
Sadly, though, about 20 seconds later, Johnny Ruiz. I'll be honest, Johnny Ruiz. You have to give this guy credit, even though he's not on our team. He's a really good player, really nice guy, and he gets to the second goal of the game for Danbury. And it was on the power play, sadly. But again, another 20 or 30 seconds later, we tie the game up again. So within that minute span, we went up to 2-2. And so that goal was by Matt Graham, assisted by Dalton J. and Mo Levac. to bring out the second, though, 4:50 into the second, Kuznetsov got the goal for the Danbury to go up 3-2. And for his hat trick, Kuznetsov got 8:21 to bring up 3-1, 4-2, sorry, at 8:21. 12:37 in the second, though, power play goal by the good, none other than Matt Graham, assisted by Dalton J. and Alex Johnson.
Second goal.
Yep. And then for also another second goal too, Dalton J. ties the game at 4, 7:37 in the 12:37. No, it's 7:37. I was right. Into the third on the power play, assisted by Alvin Federley and Matt Graham. So 5-4, 9:42 into the third on the power play. Johnny Ruiz scores again. And then 10:27 into the third, the Prowlers get their fifth and final goal of this game from Alex Johnson, assisted by Mogovet. And then it was just a melee show after that. Because at 16:53 of the third, Steve Melee scores to give them the win. And then 1928, Tom Melee scores on the empty net for a final score of 7-5.
Well, the highest scoring game of the first game of the season.
Right, and that was in front of 1,200 fans out there too.
Yep.
And that's and they did have a couple special guests out there.
Yeah, and an old owner showed up.
Right. And then with the reffing though, the power play, the penalty summary is as follows: 6:07, Alex Johnson gets pegged for high sticking, and I wish Mike Grammett was here to do his actions on this one. 16:12, Cade Lambden goes for tripping. In the second, Quentin Roseboom, cross-checking. And this is where they start actually calling it a little bit even. 9:23 into the second, Tom Malley goes for tripping. 10:33, Cossack, who used to be a Prowler, goes for high sticking. Another former Prowler, Aaron Atwell, goes for tripping at 12:12, as well as Vinny Susi goes for slashing at 12:12.
Yep.
So they had a 2-minute long 5-on-3.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then Quentin Roseboom, 14:24, goes for high sticking again. And the third, and this is where it gets interesting, the fighting major right there, 7:09, Cole Beaton. And then,
Yeah, 3 power goals off the...
yeah. And then Corey Anderson, 8:53 into the third for Danbury, gets an unsportsmanlike conduct. And that is it for that game. So, with how much that actually went down in that game, I'm surprised that penalty summary is as short as it is.
Well, yeah, they like I said, overall the refs let the guys play. Because like I said, there was some stuff that we all agreed that should have been called both ways. You know, but sometimes as long as the refs are being fair and, you know, and all that, let some stuff go. It was a good game overall. It was. It's not.
I'm just glad though that was a night where we had the scare where the Danbury hat tricks player almost broke his neck.
Yeah.
And that's where they had started bringing out the stretcher for him.
Right.
So I'm glad he was able to actually finally get back to his feet on that one.
Yeah.
And it's especially after seeing what happened to Jenny Ruiz last year.
Yeah.
And that's, we don't want to see anybody get hurt, and that's one of our major complaints when reffing goes wrong.
Yeah, and when they aren't calling stuff they should be calling. You know, but technically on that one, if anybody would have got a penalty, it would have been him.
Which is sad.
Right, because he hooked our player that was going for a goal
and
lost his balance.
Yeah.
He did. You know, and it's definitely sad. We don't want nobody hurt. We don't.
Right.
But if anybody would have got a penalty, it would have been on them. It would have been
And it's
because it was a breakaway game.
and it's just oh god, that's
But
touchy situation.
unfortunately, at breakaways, if you're close enough, 90% of the guys are going to hook somebody. And I agree because you'd rather give them that chance of possibly going one-on-one with the goalie, or are you not getting a penalty because the ref don't see it right, or whatever.
Right.
You do. A lot of players will take that chance,
Right.
because you're trying to stop that goal.
exactly.
But
that was just either way, it's scary all around.
yeah,
And I'm just glad that he didn't
he's
have
fine.
any major.
Everybody, nobody
I'm
got.
glad that he's all right.
Anyways, back on to the next game, Saturday, where we had the party for, where we sat around most of the night.
Yeah, 'cause unfortunately, just like the first night, really, technically we didn't do much because the game buffered most of the night. Unfortunately, second night, it just, unfortunately, the first whole period didn't play, pretty much.
We couldn't see it.
And
Yeah,
much of the third.
We decided to watch the Red Wing, part of the Red Wing game instead. Huh? Then it came on. Yeah, as soon as we turned the Red Wing game on, the game came on.
Which is kind of funny. Anyways, luckily though there was no goal scored in the first that night. But
Again, if you're listening to Danbury, I gave you a thumbs down on your YouTube for those two games. If you get your feed fixed, I will give you a thumbs up. But when you got bad feed, I'm going to give you a boo.
especially when you brag about how good your internet is.
Yes.
Anyways, no scoring in the first. Danbury scored 2, we got 1, and then we tied it up in the third. And when we got 3 goals to their 2, so that was 4-4 after 3 periods.
Yep.
And like they said earlier, 19 seconds left in the overtime, and Danbury wins.
Yep.
So starting off of the second, 7:27, and that was a melee show again because it was Steve Melee assisted by Tom Melee.
Yeah.
9:12, Matt Graham assisted by Austin Federley and Zachary Ferustra. 18:55 on the power play. Tom Melee from Steve Melee and Aaron Atwell. Going into the third, 2:35 into the third, Dmitry Kuznetsov. 3:47 into the third, Austin Federley. 9:13 into the third, Ruiz scores another goal. 16:49 to bring it up to 4-3, scored by Austin Federley, assisted by Dalton Jay and Alex Johnson. And then to tie it up, 17:28 into the third, Matt Graham scored the goal, assisted by Alex Johnson, and our brand new captain, Dustin Henning. And then 4:35 into the overtime, Corey Anderson scores. And you have to give it our goalie credit. It was the rookie that scored. That was playing that night.
Right.
Which it was Greg Harney. Yeah.
Like I said, I think all the goalies are doing really good
Exactly.
so far.
Penalty summary. 4:12. Dalton Jays goes for tripping into the first. 8:19 into the first. We got Matthias Kosick fighting Stavros Salos. 9:01. Harrison Koss from Danbury for holding. 11:51. Corey Anderson of Danbury high sticking. 14:39. Tom Alley goes for roughing. Caden Lambden goes for cross-checking. And Alex Johnson goes for roughing as well. And then Matthias Kosick at 18:53 of the first goes for high sticking. In the second, Matthias Kosick, he goes in for tripping. 9:41, Johnny Ruiz goes in for slashing, and Matt Graham goes in for slashing. 18-24, Quentin Roseboom, slashing. 5-12 into the third, Alex Gillespie, cross-checking. 5-28, Tom Melee from Danbury gets a high sticking. And 16-32 of the third, Justin Portillo roughed Kenny Garrett. And that was updated attendance of 1,050. Because originally it was saying 350. So.
Yeah. It still went down from Friday night's game.
Yeah.
How many was the second game?
It's 1,050 right now, 350 original.
Yeah, but if I kind of iffy on that because if you watch the feed that we did see, it didn't look like there was that many.
Right.
I'm sorry, my opinion didn't look like that many people sitting in there. I think they're going by their tickets sold and not
Right.
the show.
And that's what a lot of places do go by, unfortunately.
Because they made the money off it.
Yeah.
And I agree. Because it's the revenue, but I'm just saying, I wish they would actually maybe find a way of doing tickets sold compared to tickets scanned.
Right.
Because they're getting more of an accurate reading.
And that's what the Ice Hawks used to do, is they
Yeah.
used to give two different numbers for that reason.
Yeah, because that way you know how many actually sold and how many. Because unfortunately, you have when Ice Hawks time was, we were averaged well over 1,000.
Right.
And the thing is how many corporate sponsors did Ice Hawks have? And the corporate sponsors, some of them had 100 tickets. Mm-hmm. You know, so if not all 100 were used, but they were sold.
Right.
You know.
And you need that accurate number for the league.
You know, that way you know actually how many people actually show. Because
Exactly.
even we argue that when we hear that they announce over the RPA of what attendance is, oh no, there's no way that many's in here. Ourselves, we'll say there's no way.
Right.
You know, that one night when they said there was 1,300, you could tell there was no 1,300.
That was like what? It looked like what, 650?
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
So I will say, I wish they'd go by tickets scanned instead of tickets sold. You know.
But what can you do, right? So, to finish out this episode, which was a bit of a fun episode, I'll be honest.
Oh, yes.
I can't believe
Yeah,
we're already at the end of the episode, to tell you the truth.
Yep.
We have two games coming up this weekend. The Columbus River Drivers are playing their first game of the season this year when they travel to Port Huron to play the Prowlers at McMorran. Friday night is a 7:05 start time. And
I know he screwed up again.
what?
River Dragons, not River Drivers.
I said the River Dragons.
You the driver.
Either way, River Dragons come to for a 7:05 start time on Friday night. What is your predictions?
We're gonna win them both.
But
Friday night, I'd say it's gonna be a close game. You know, because like I said, a lot of new guys for both teams, and I'd say it's gonna be a high scoring again. I'm gonna say 5-3.
okay. And what do you say, Rob?
I'm with Dana on that one. 5-3.
Awesome. And then director.
Come on to the video there.
Yeah, score.
5-3 up for the first night.
No, just the first night so far.
And then for the first night for me, I want to say 4-2. I go a little bit
What did Justin
off.
say?
Any empty netters?
4 empty netters. I'm gonna go off on that one.
That for me.
I was thinking empty net, you know, to
Yeah.
get us to the 5-3.
Right.
Or, you know,
But it's like I want to go with that oddball. 4 empty netters, 4-2.
anybody calling for a fight?
No.
I am.
Anybody using the bad word?
No.
Rob.
What bad word?
The OT word.
Oh, that. No, not this game.
So that brings us to Saturday night, 6:05 start, which is kind of weird because which is a Columbus time for a Saturday night.
Yeah, I noticed it because I looked at my tickets. They're 6:05, and then our next one is 7:05 still. It's just
Yeah.
it's weird.
Kayla said one fight.
Of course. Oh, yes. Mike Gremmon just swore. Swore bad. He just swore really bad.
He got a little to you again?
With the fight, 2-1.
All right, Grummet. We owe you 2 punches then if that happens. We were only on the first game though.
But he's at OT 2-1. He didn't give us a team.
Oh, well, we know who he's calling.
Yeah.
All right, now second night, just to give Scott Brand a hard time, we're going to win again. That one I'm going to say we're going to win 6-2.
Rob.
I'm gonna say 3-1 us.
How about you, Director?
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm going to say a 2-0 shutout with Scott Brandon goal.
All right.
No, do a goalie goal.
I mean, go right ahead. Which goal is going to score, though?
Ours. Corey Simmons with the game-winning goal.
And you heard it here first. Corey's going to get a goal.
Well, for him to get the game-winning one with Chris's score, he'd have to get the first goal.
Yeah. So it's let's go, Corey. You hear us right here. You got to get the first goal of the game.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the game winner, it'd have to be the first goal.
Exactly. So it's not my fault, Corey. It's all Rob. You heard. He did that to you.
Well, everybody, good night. We'll
And-
see you next week.
See you next week, guys, and don't have too much fun.
And we will see some of you tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, it's Crystal from the Port Huron Prowlers. Back to you from behind the scenes. I'm with Mitz today, and Mitz and I are here to give you guys some examples of things the guys would like on the bus trip. Mitz, do you think the guys would like granola bars? What about fruit and vegetables? Okay, not vegetables, but how about fruit? Cases of water? What about some Powerade and Gatorade? Well, there you have it. Some true facts of what Mitz thinks our boys should have on the road trips. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Well, not really. I got to be all elite wrestling tomorrow, guys. If you're on the wrestling. I can't believe I let myself get caught. That one was good.
Hey there, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
You might remember One Love Weekly used to be called One News Weekly. Well, that was season 1, and now we're coming into season 2. We've changed up the format, and we're bringing the news to you in a more personal issue. We're going to give you more real-life situations to react to these news stories and how you can love thy neighbor more. And I'm excited to bring on my co-host and correspondent, Kelly.
That's me. Hey, wherever you're listening to, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform suits your fancy, just make sure that you give us a subscribe and a follow and a share and whatever else you want to do. Make sure that you tell your friends about us.
And I hope you enjoy for the future episodes.